you look at it very well, there are so much more that can bring us together. Africa celebrates, like I said, is a barbecue party, that can be advantageous to Africa. And Africa is where you need to be. I want to be part of the fashion industry.
Oh my God, I knew you'd say this though.
The music we listen to, the movies we watch, and to make people around the world appreciate Africa. So next time, always promote your dress culture.
I promise. Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys had such a fabulous, productive week. Again, we're back with a brand new episode of My Africa Show with you guys to discuss about our Africa, as usual. So this week on My Africa Show, the guest that we had for you guys is such a brilliant, vibrant, active person that is organizing the biggest festival that talks about African culture, heritage, music, art, business, technology. You guys mention it. You can find it in this festival. We all know it. It's Africa Celebrates. And now they are doing different partnerships. They're like expanding, and 2025 African Celebrates is coming. It's right around the corner. So now we are going to have a conversation with the organizer, also founder of Legendary Gold, Lexi Mojo Eyes. I know you are a fashionista at the same time. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So the major topic is Africa Celebrates is one of the biggest festivals happening.
It's the biggest Pan-African event.
Pan-African event. Take notes, guys. Take notes.
It's the biggest.
Exactly.
In the world. Also.
Exactly. So Africa Celebrates 2025 is now coming. So just a little bit of a highlight about what Africa Celebrates is. Could you tell us?
Okay. Like I said, Africa Celebrates is now the biggest Pan-African event in the world. It is art, culture, heritage, technology, and business. The idea of Africa Celebrates is bring Africans together. Africans on the continent and Africans, people of African descent, and Africans in the diaspora together on the continent. That means the idea is to bring Africans together in Africa and bring Africans in the diaspora and people of African descent to join them on the continent, to integrate. It's about integration, because I think one of our biggest minus is the fact that there are too many things that takes us apart, but if you look at it very well, there are so much more that can bring us together.
True.
So the idea of Africa Celebrates is just for us to celebrate ourselves, because nobody has ever celebrated us and nobody will celebrate us. So from the beginning, the idea is to celebrate ourselves in all human endeavors. Because if you look at the growth, the development, and civilization of mankind, Africa has always been in the forefront. But we have never been acknowledged.
True.
We have never been because they won't want to acknowledge us. In fact, a lot of effort has been made to erase us from our achievements. So Africa Celebrates gives us the opportunity to come together, to celebrate ourselves, to enjoy ourselves.
True.
To tell ourselves we have the most brilliant and the best culture in the world. Africa Celebrates is our food, it's our music, it's our movies, it's our dance, it's our business. It is just everything, So, and this is the 5th edition. Africa Celebrates is about our youths. It's about women empowerment, And this year, interestingly, the theme of Africa Celebrates is every year aligns with the African Union theme of the year.
Interesting.
As you know, the African Union is one of our host partners. It's our major partner and one of the host partners. And the other one is the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. They are also another of our host partners. And the theme, Africa Celebrate theme of the year has to do with reparation for Africans and people of African descent. And the theme of Africa Celebrates this year is along the line of reparation. So in addition, we are adding a new forum to Africa Celebrates, and this forum is a African Reparation Forum, where we are going to have a lot of our brothers and sisters coming from the Caribbean, coming from the United States, coming from around the world, so that we can have this conversation of reparation. And for us, it's not just about reparation, it's beyond reparation. Because right now, we don't want to look at all the injustice. We want to look at, what can we bring, that can be advantageous to Africa from our brothers and sisters that are abroad, that are in the diaspora, people of African descent from around the world.
Definitely. And I feel like when you're like hosting an event, especially when you're doing it every year, it takes some kind of courage. And I know you can tell us a lot of things about what the experience of hosting an event for Queen's Creative 5 years is like. But different people are watching this show.
Yeah.
Young people are watching this show. People living abroad are watching this show. And they're like curious on having that perfect character to lead. Because that's why being a leader, being able to create that vision within your team is really important. So in the process of hosting this event, this festival, huge vision, huge mission, huge reason behind, what are the things, the characters, the personalities that helped you achieving this? Because you guys are going bigger and better every year, which I totally love. Yeah. So tell us, what are the characters that helped you?
It's just being a Nigerian.
Oh my God, I knew you'd say this though. I knew you'd say this.
It's just being a Nigerian and being an African, because it takes guts for you to just leave Nigeria and come to Ethiopia to say, I have this big vision for the continent and for the world, and where I want to establish this vision is a different country. I came to Ethiopia because of the African Union. Because having a big vision for the continent, I felt that I do not have what it takes to pull it all by myself. So I had to take advantage, like we say, I had to take advantage of our advantage. That is to say, I had to say, okay, how do I do? If we're talking of an African thing, I must involve like the African Union. The African Union at the highest level, at governmental level, connects with all 54 or 55 African countries. And partnering with the African Union also says it needs to be organized in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia, we see it as the capital of Africa because the African Union is here. I think it's only my people that can do that.
Yes.
I've not seen anybody from any other. I mean, I have a lot of my people around the world doing things, making things happen big time. Just being a Nigerian, I'm sure a lot of people know us for who we are.
Yeah.
We want to do things, we get things done. I will get things done very well at the highest level in terms of quality, in terms of in just every way. We do it right. We started Africa Celebrates in 2021. We just had 18 African countries we were able to bring in. In 2022, we grew. We had 32 countries we brought into Ethiopia. In 2023, we had 38 countries. Last year, we had 41 countries from the continent and 13 countries from the diaspora and people of African descent that joined us here. And where we are heading to is all 54, 55 African countries. So we want a situation whereby those 5 days, people just take time out of work for 1 week, wherever they are around the world. If you want to know about Africa, if you want to connect with Africa, if you want to do business with Africa, if you want to enjoy the best of African food, African music, African dance, African interaction and integration, the only place to come to is Addis Ababa and during Africa Celebrates. You will see authentic Africa.
I am a witness for that. I've been there, so yeah.
So you will just enjoy Africa. And Africa is where you need to be. Africa is where, like I say to a lot of people, I tell them Africa is where you enjoy life. You don't enjoy life in Europe or America or Asia. Sincerely, it takes a very strong leadership. But before strong leadership, a very clear idea about what you are doing.
You need to own the idea.
Yeah, you need to know this is exactly what I want to do. Like when I meet with people, from the first conversation, I already know, no, this cannot fit. This is part of it. And sometimes from the blues, I see things that can just fit and I grab them and I bring them in. It is work in progress, yes. But initially, I had a clear idea of how we want to do.
Exactly.
Where we want to go to, how we want to get things organized. And at what point do we want to do what? There are certain ideas and there are certain suggestions people bring. And before they even tell me about it, in my head, I already know this will be in 2 years' time. This will be in 5 years' time. This is not now. You know, because also we want to learn how to crawl, walk before we run.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we have grown the way we have grown. And that is why every year we keep adding a new component to it, because we know at this point we are ready for this. You know, so it's just one crazy guy from Nigeria.
With a big dreams and vision.
Coming everywhere and banging everywhere down to say we must get this done.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes we forget that it's also the process that will create the personality that you need to have, right?
Yes.
Because you need to learn that what you do today is one way contributing to the destination that you want to reach.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely agree that. So no need to rush, trust the process, and one thing at a time.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. So now let's talk about the lessons, the
Okay.
$1 million, ideas, because
Yes.
all this experience will lead to some kind of shift personally and also career-wise. So
Yes.
let's talk about the lessons that you have got throughout these years in every single, because we know Africa Celebrates is not the only thing that you have on your plate. You have
Yes,
other
exactly.
things too. So what are the major lessons that you have learned saying, okay, this is the reality, the truth about life?
Okay, you know, sometimes people just see you the way you are now. I mean, I get a whole lot of messages on social media. Everybody want to be like me.
Yeah.
The guy is high flying, you know, he's just enjoying his life. You know what I mean? So everybody want to be like you. Everybody want to be like you. At that point, you are successful, right? You know, but nobody sits down to think like, probably this guy has been in this journey in the last 30 years. You know, so all the experiences I bring here are experiences I've had over the years. Ethiopia's experience is like a barbecue party. You know, it's all honeymoon now. You know, because I remember those days. I mean, my background is in fashion promotion. That's my background. And by training, I trained as a journalist. I've done this before.
I know. That's why it's much easier now, you know?
Welcome to Africa.
This young guy from a small city in Nigeria that said, I want to be the one to take Nigerian designers to Paris, to Milan, to New York, to London, to Tokyo. And don't forget, as at this time I was talking, there was no internet. So it was not as if I was browsing through the internet and I saw this and the idea came. You know, it's just a young guy that is very fashionable. I was very fashionable. I love clothes. I love fashion. I love to look good and everything like that. You know, and I said, okay, I want to be part of the fashion industry, but I don't want to be a designer. I don't want to be a model. I don't want to be a makeup artist.
Excuse me, then what?
You know, so I created fashion promotion in Nigeria.
Okay.
I created it from nowhere. You know, so today when I created Africa Celebrates, people will not understand where I'm coming from. I've created a lot of things that nobody thought about in the past, and I changed the whole of the industry. You know, that was the time Nigerians don't wear Nigerian clothes. Nigeria want to take the pride of saying, this is Louis Vuitton I'm wearing. This is an Yves Saint Laurent I'm wearing. You know, this is a Giorgio Armani I'm wearing. You know, us Nigerians want to show our wristwatch, our clothes, our shoes. We bought it here and there. That was the time I came and I said, no, there's going to be a shift. We are going to turn this around, you know. I reoriented the Nigerian fashion industry to look inward. Local fabrics, accessories, and designs. Designers should go back to their various cultural, ethnic background and research into the local fabrics in their local backgrounds. Those ones they knit, those ones they dye, those ones they paint, you know, and also come up with accessories that will match. Things that we can export. You cannot be making suits and things like that and export to where do you want to export them to?
They already have it.
I mean, Europe, America, Asia, they've perfected the act. So what is that thing we can take abroad? You know, because my mindset was making money from what we produce locally, you know, making foreign exchange. That was my idea. You know, and one year, I mean, I was preaching, you know, I was preaching like Nigerians must wear Nigerian clothes. And since all that time, I've been wearing Nigerian clothes, You know,
I feel guilty today, yes.
You know, so anywhere I go to, those days I remember when I go on network programs on TV in Nigeria, and everybody, for that day, everybody wears Nigerian clothes. Because I would say, no, you guys are not dressed well. You guys should wear, you know, and it got to that point when once I was seeing my president's wife. You know, I was a guest of my president's wife. And my president's wife was, because I would say our first event was Nigerian Fashion Show. We say Nigerian Fashion Show says dress Nigerian. You know, wear Nigerian clothes. You know, so everybody knew me for that. So I was meeting my president's wife. My president's wife was coming from a state function. So she was not wearing Nigerian clothes. And because she had kept me waiting, she couldn't go back to change. So the moment she got into the room we were meeting, she said, "Mr. Mojo Eyes, I don't want you to accuse me. Don't accuse me. I know I'm supposed to wear Nigerian clothes, but for your information, I just got off with my husband, the president, from a state function.
Okay.
So I needed to dress this way.
Okay.
You know, so
Yes.
we all laughed. You know, so that was the level we took it to, and in the first 4 years, you know, the fifth year, I had my first big event in Paris. I took the 10 top Nigerian designers to Paris, and it was a huge event that was on CNN. I'm talking of the year 2000, That's like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So I had an event that was on CNN 25 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
That was on French network TV, that was seen all over the world. You know, so that was a young man brewing with ideas. So, and that, I mean, I remember those days also, my friends, I would say I'm a pioneer in Nigerian fashion. And while I was pioneering fashion, my friends were pioneering music, Afrobeat, and were pioneering Nollywood, the movie industry. You know, and from time to time, my friends would tell me, Lexi, please, can you get your designers to make Nigerian clothes for our actors and actresses? And yes, we'll do that. And what that did was, as Nigerian fashion was growing, Nollywood, the movie industry was growing, Afrobeat was growing. And we were just young people that were just dynamic, and I would say, like I say to a lot of people, when I was doing what I was doing, it was strictly passion. I was not thinking of money. The money came with it. But I was not thinking of money, I was just thinking of what to achieve. And that was what our Nollywood directors and producers were doing as well, unconsciously. They were doing their moving thing, not even knowing where it would take them to. But before you knew what was happening, our movie was all over the world. And being all over the world, it went with Nigerian fashion.
I see.
You know, so designers from all over the continent, designers in the diaspora, like African designers, they were all reaching out to me to say, please, you know, I mean, you are the big boss, like making sure whatever designer you promote is all over the world and stuff. You know, so can you promote us as well? because we're having events all over the world every year, moving from one fashion capital to the other. And at some point, I got appointed on the board of governors of the World Fashion Organization.
Okay.
And that took me away to California, to Los Angeles, for quite some time. I was the only one representing Africa for over 10 years in the fashion industry in the world. So I'm giving you this background so that you understand where I'm coming from. I've had my stress, I've had my hassles, I've had my struggles in making sure all this happen. The way I'm saying it now, it looks so smooth and nice, right? But it's come with its own casualty. So Africa celebrates, like I said, it's a barbecue party because I've been around the world in the toughest times. And anyhow, we've been able to prevail and everything. So bringing this is coming out from fashion, because fashion is like promoting Nigerian fashion, promoting African fashion, but which is part of Pan-Africanism. This is continent building. But now we have decided to bring everything about Pan-Africanism together, not just the things we wear, but the things we eat, the music we listen to, the movies we watch, all that and all that put together, then business, then women, then youth, everything we decide to bring together as one package, to promote Africa and to make people around the world appreciate Africa. To let them know that, just like we say in Ethiopia, this is the land of origin. All humankind originated from Ethiopia. Where's Ethiopia? In Africa. So all humankind originated from Africa.
So we're all Africans.
We are all Africans. So they need to respect Africa.
True.
But most importantly, we as Africans, we need to integrate. We need to be one together. Because why we have not progressed as a people is because of the division.
And not being able to value the things that you have,
yes,
and then expecting that respect and that value from someone else.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen.
You are so correct. So that's what we are trying to do. We need to place a value, to what we have. It's only when you place a value to it that other people will value it.
They don't have any other option.
They will not have any other option. I mean, look at me, everywhere I am around the world. No one just want to buy things off the things I'm wearing off me. You know what I mean? Everybody, and even Africans. I mean, I go for a lot of meetings, a lot of conferences, a lot of forums around the world. Even Africans. You can imagine me meeting my African brother in Paris, and he wants what I am wearing. My African brother, we all came from Africa to Paris, to France. But he wants to buy off me because he's wearing a jacket, he's wearing a suit, and nobody is noticing him. Oh my goodness, please leave. I'm just wearing a t-shirt, so now I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling absolutely bad. So next time, always promote your dress culture. I promise. Wear a lot of Ethiopian clothes. I promise. And I promise you, if you want, I can get designers from other countries to clothe you. Give you words? Yes. Okay. To get you some things to wear. All right. So the next thing, I mean, as we are now finalizing our stay, I want us to talk about the partnerships because that's really important. The team, the vision, everything should be spread across the partners that you have. You've mentioned Africa Union as an example, but recently, Africa Celebrates have been like partnering, collaborating with different institutions. So tell us about it. What are the new partnerships, collaborations that are on hand? Conversations are still going with a lot, but African Union, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, we have Ethiopian Airlines. Ethiopian Airlines, we are very proud of Ethiopian Airlines. It's the African airline. We have Skylight Hotel. We have Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They've been partnering with us since the second edition. Okay. And we just started a new partnership. Let me show. Let me show. I'm sure this is part of the package for Africa Celebrates. So this is the official package for Africa Celebrates 2025, and in as much as we are talking to a lot of new partners, but already we just signed an MOU with Ethiopian Ministry of Tourism, and I think that will be the game changer, you know, because Africa celebrates about tourism.
True, yeah, exactly.
It's about bringing people from around the world to Ethiopia, to the capital of Africa. You know, and we have the United Nations mission to the African Union. We have the Côte d'Ivoire, the Nigerian and the Burundi embassies. We have DCT, you know, they are about the biggest providers for sound, for screens,
Okay.
for sets, you know.
Production.
For production, you know, we just, you know, we have African Magic, because Africa celebrates its scene across the continent. We are having conversation with a lot of new partners.
Sure.
And just to also know that our Ethiopian local event partner, we have a new event partner. Unfortunately, we've worked with 2 event partners in the last 4 years, and we've had very terrible experiences with them. You know, so right now we are working with a partner called Afronova, and we know they have experiences, you know, they are exposed internationally. So we think we are going to really succeed this time in a bigger way. You know, we're talking with a whole lot of big partners also from outside Ethiopia right now.
True.
You know, but there are lots we are still having conversations with. Yeah.
I see. I mean, conversations, you already have almost 10.
I know.
And there are still conversations going on. I mean, I feel like that's a sign that this year's Africa Celebrates 2025 is going to be big.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
Definitely.
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Lexi, for coming here, for sharing us your path, for answering our questions, for being part of this week My Africa show. If there's anything else that you would love to say, any calls for partnerships, again, you say it's still going.
So we are looking for more
yours.
partners because Africa Celebrates exposes you to the rest of the world, not just in Ethiopia, yes, Ethiopia, but to the rest of the world, because we have DSTV as our partner that takes this across the continent. We are talking with a lot of cable TVs that we beam Africa Celebrates live this year to around the world.
Oh, I see.
You know, so apart from, partnering with Africa Celebrates open up the doors for you, you know, to be able to meet a lot of people, a lot of organizations from around the world. You know, and just to also say a big thank you to Ethiopia. You know, Ethiopia has been home. I mean, before Ethiopia, my second home has been Paris, has been France. You know, because for over 20 years, I was doing events in Paris every year, you know, and I built a lot of big partners and collaborations in Paris, which included UNESCO, who used to host my event. I have built a lot of partnerships around the world with big organizations. You know, but I want to say a big thank you to Ethiopia. I'm more proud being in Ethiopia than anywhere else because Ethiopia is Africa. You know, it gives us the opportunity to be able to really promote Africa and bring us together and celebrate us, you know. So, and thank you very much, Art TV, for having me. I really appreciate this.
The pleasure is all ours. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So everyone, this is what we had for you guys this week on My Africa show. I hope you guys got new insights about what you should do about your dreams, and you never know when it's going to pay off, and understand that your drive should be your passion, your purpose, nothing external. Know what you want, dedicate your time, dedicate yourself, and then you'll succeed for sure. Thank you again for being with us. We'll see you next week on another topic. Till then, goodbye.